Ready for a smart hummingbird feeder? Welcome back to Techstination. I'm Fred Fishkin. With us from Bird Buddy is CEO Franci Zidar. Hi, Franci.
Hey, Fred.
Great to see you again. Lots of us hummingbird enthusiasts are pretty excited about this. Your hummingbird feeder is now available following a very successful campaign on Kickstarter. Congratulations.
Thank you. Yeah, I am equally excited and a little bit humbled by the reception of this product, quite honestly. I learned a lot about hummingbirds over the past year and a half. I'm not from the US, and I'm not sure if you know, but hummingbirds are not exclusive to the US, but they don't really frequent Europe at all. So we don't get to have that experience, but it's a beautiful species of birds that has a beautiful story, that migrates a lot, that needs every 15 minutes to eat, to survive. And yeah, I think it's been a beautiful journey building this product and learning about this beautiful animal.
Well, tell us more about the feeder. This is really a follow-on to the very successful smart bird feeder that you've had on the market now for some time.
Yep, it is. So it was one of the first things that came to mind basically as soon as we completed and started shipping our original smart bird feeder, right? Hummingbird feeder or feeding is a thing. They are beautiful animals that actually are one of the rare few birds that are not that afraid of humans, right? So they do tend to fly very close to you, and you can hear them flap their wings and buzz, and it's kind of a unique type of an experience. But primarily they are beautiful to look at with all the colors and the way light bounces off of their feathers, and it's a beautiful kind of bird to take a close-up photo of. It is a follow-on. It is completely rebuilt from bottom up for this case, right? The only thing that's the same basically it's the module and the camera, but the feeder itself, also because it's nectar, it's not seeds, right? It requires a completely different design, and I'm very proud of what we've built, because it's not just something that works for what we need to work for, which is to take beautiful photos of hummingbirds. It is also extremely functional and thought through in terms of maintaining it, right? Because yeah, fun fact: hummingbirds remember how often you refill your hummingbird feeder, so they know what to expect. So if you have like a hummingbird that flies around your neighborhood, if you have the most replenished hummingbird feeder, they'll come to you more often and expect more from you, right? So we've really put a lot of effort into trying to make this really easy to maintain and clean, which is kind of an essential part of using that kind of product.
If you're going to feed them, you have to make sure you're doing it safely, right?
Yes, correct. And that goes for bird feeding as well as for hummingbirds, right?
Well, I've been a fan of your smart bird feeder, which takes great snapshots and videos of visitors, including the squirrels, and
Yes.
identifies the types of birds visiting. With hummingbirds in North America, there really isn't a lot of variety. You've got the ruby throats, and that's pretty much it in North America. Maybe once in a while, somewhere, some other varieties appear. So identifying is not as big a part of this as it is with the other bird feeder.
It less so for sure, right? I think that all in, I might be completely off on this one, but I think there's hundreds of species of hummingbirds. But it is true that the ones that frequent in the US are probably around four, right? Annas, rubies, I forget what the others are, but yeah, the four or five that are really kind of frequent visitors of hummingbird feeders in the US. It's still not trivial to recognize the distinction, or I should say, to distinct between the different species, right? Because sometimes, depending on the angle, it can be very nuanced, right? Uh, so it is basically a part of the core feature set. Still, it is, I guess, less important. And one thing that I've learned anyway is that even through our original smart bird feeder experience, people appreciate us being able to recognize bird species. They really are more interested in just getting beautiful photos of birds, right? And once you, especially if you're an avid birder, you know the species anyway, right? So what you really want is to get up close and personal with the birds in your backyard.
Right. Well, the Cardinals love my bird buddy
Yeah.
feeder. That's for sure. Lots of them there. So it doesn't make it any less fun if there aren't a great number of varieties of hummingbirds. What is interesting sometimes, and I don't know if it can distinguish, is the males have the ruby throat and the females don't. Um,
Yeah.
it's one thing that people will notice. So tell us about the setup here. This you've made it pretty easy to get these snapshots and videos.
Yeah, totally. It's Bird Buddy has a modular design, right? Effectively, what you get is the housing, which is providing all the function of the feeder, and in the case of hummingbirds, the nectar, right? And then inside is a module, easy to pull out. You can plug in, indoors to charge it. Both products have a solar roof you can buy as an add-on, which, depending on where you live, can have a massive impact on your user experience because some people just don't have to charge much at all. And again, depending on the sun exposure. Um, but yeah, it's this white module in the product that actually takes the photos and where all the magic happens. And the idea is to make that as seamless and easy as possible to a point where the actual software and the hardware kind of disappears in the background, right? And what you get is just beautiful photos of birds on your phone every day, with effectively what is a product that's designed to nurture these beautiful creatures in your backyard, right? The one kind of cool characteristics of the hummingbird feeder on top is that the main kind of bottom of the housing, right, where hummingbirds are expected to land and where the flower petals are for them to drink, is red colored, and it's transparent red, right, which means that you do not have to put any kind of color additives to your nectar, which is highly discouraged, right? You shouldn't be doing that. You should really only put either sugar water or buy purpose made nectar for hummingbirds. Never put in coloring, and the job of that coloring is now done by the actual hardware, right? So the housing of the actual product does that for you, so you don't have to add any color to it.
And it's very easy to make the nectar too. Lots of recipes that people can find, but it's basically one recipe, I suppose.
Sugar and
So,
water, yeah.
so tell us about the pricing and availability.
So it's 239 for the base product without the solar roof, and 299 with the solar roof. We are starting shipping in May and have extremely low inventory. We It is our first run with this particular product. We have about 10,000 units that we're going to be shipping between May and June, and well over half of that is already sold. So yeah, if you're interested in getting close to hummingbirds in your backyard, the opportunity to buy this product is probably in March. After that, we'll have to work with our supplier to see what we can do to get more into the States this year. Yeah.
Another aspect of this is the community that Bird Buddy has created here with the original bird feeder to start with, right?
Yeah, that's one of the major advantages of being a Kickstarter product, right? Basically, as a part of that experience, you get a community that's there for you when you're building the product, giving you feedback, sharing thoughts on features, and that's that, it really positions you to be building a product that people actually want. So that's been a great experience. And now, yeah, that community is kind of growing into a bit more broad community of people that just love nature in their backyard, right? And it's birds and it's hummingbirds, and then it goes to butterflies and bees, and it's people that care about biodiversity and nature in their backyard. And it's an essential part of Bird Buddy as I see it today.
You created Bird Buddy Explore for people even who they can use that even if they don't have a feeder, right?
Yes. So there is a feature in the app where you can connect to feeders around the world, and you can engage with nature from Hawaii and Alaska and Papua New Guinea, and it's a really cool feature. It is like one of the things that is actually beautiful to me, but is from a kind of business perspective not great for that particular feature. Is that we found out that people care a lot more about nature that's around them, right? So birds, like photos of birds and photos of hummingbirds and whatever's in either at your family's house or at your house is what really matters to you, right? And it's what really matters to our users. So having access to these cameras around the world really is for people that don't have a bird buddy. more compelling, right? For people that have a bird buddy, it's a kind of a nice to have, but it's definitely not an essential thing, which is it's interesting, and to me it's kind of beautiful because it really speaks to the connection of nature that's kind of in your immediate vicinity, right? Yeah.
Just terrific. So for more information, the site is mybirdbuddy.com. Congratulations, Franci, on all the work that you're doing, and
Thanks, Fred.
thanks for spending time with us.
Thank you for being a customer. Thank you.